Are you guys able to see my screen?
Not yet.
No, not yet.
Mhm.
Yes, we can see now.
Okay. Okay, wonderful. Just a second. Okay, so during the course of this session, we will cover traditional project management, that is what you call it, waterfall methodology. That's one. The second part that we will be covering will be agile project management. That is, you guys have been working in agile, you know it, right? That will be consisting of Scrum, Kanban, okay, the most popular ones, extreme programming. The third part that we will be covering will be hybrid project management. Okay, so these days, the as per the exam pattern, uh, between your agile project management and your waterfall methodology, uh, there is a 50-50 ratio. You are expected to get questions uh, from each vertical in a balanced way. And anybody has attempted PMP exam before? Okay. So the ratio will be 50-50 and the questions will be scenario based. Okay. So I will be discussing multiple scenarios, multiple situations. And I would recommend during the course of the lectures, my recommendation is if you can write down those situations so that you can recall them when you do your revision part. Okay. So my personal suggestion is if you can make a few notes, I will share the presentation and everything with you, but if you can make your personal notes, that will be a good thing. Yeah. So let's get started. So, can anybody answer a simple question? What is a project?
For me, project is anything which is beyond the threshold limit of the operation work, and that develops a new or unique product within the given timeline.
Okay. What
So,
else?
so for me, project which has the start date and the end date, so that we can deliver the delivery within that period.
Okay. Um, okay, somewhere there. Okay. What else? Can anybody else take a jab?
It is always temporary.
Mm-hmm.
And as one of our peers said that it is having a different start and end date.
Okay.
So
Can somebody combine these three answers and get me to a definition? The answer is right, but in bits and pieces. So the answer to this will be what a project is. Project is nothing but a unique endeavor. This is what PMI says. This is what PMBOK says. Okay, it's a unique endeavor. It's not like somebody mentioned that different operations or something. It's I will come to operations a little later, but it's a unique endeavor. It has a start date and an end date. Okay, and it will produce results that are unique. Understandable? I have combined whatever the three of you said, but the point is that it's a unique endeavor. It's a unique thing. It's not operations. Okay, I will give you an example. So, let's suppose I will give you my experience, my example from my experience. Okay, so I was responsible. I was working in guided weapon command in the Air Force. So my day-to-day role was to produce missiles to be fire to produce fire-worthy missiles to be fired. Okay, so that was my role. On a daily basis, um, I was preparing the missiles, taking them out of the storage, um, putting air into it, testing it on ground, doing a ground simulation, then loading it onto a loader vehicle or something, and then transporting it to the launcher. So I'm doing it on a daily basis. So that is the part of operations. Okay. Now, what a project for a person like me, or for a guided weapon commander like me, could be. I am transporting. I am So when I'm preparing the missile out of the storage till the launcher, the complete lead time is 2 hours. Okay. Now I have received an instruction, or I have received an instruction from the management that the timing, the lead time has to be reduced by 20%. So don't you think reduction of the complete lead time of supplying missile to the launcher is the project? It will be a unique endeavor. It will produce unique results. It's a one-time endeavor. It has got a start date and it has got an end date within the timeline within which the project has to finish. Is that understandable, guys?
Yes, yes, Ramesh. It will be a
Yes?
project.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about that we have
Mhm.
running an operation of missile launching, and then a sudden request is that you need to produce a result of 20% reduction lead time within the given
Mhm.
timeline. That's what you're saying. So
That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Let's suppose I reduce the timeline. If I reduce the lead time by 20%, out of those 2 hours, I am able to uh, reduce it to, let's suppose, 15 minutes or 20 minutes. Let's suppose I have reduced. Now I am able to, now the missile is able to reach the launcher within 1 hour and 50 minutes, or 1 hour and 40 minutes. Okay, so that's the new timing. Now, then again, I'm supplying the missiles to the launcher on a daily basis in 1 hour and 45 minutes. So that again, after a new project, after the implementation of the project, after the implementation of a lean methodology, okay, now again the operations have started. Now the missiles are again going to the launcher on a daily basis within 1 hour and 45 minutes. So that's the result that the project has produced for the organization. Correct? Is that understandable?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, yeah, now you're able to understand the difference between a project and operations. Okay, so it is a very clear and a simple line which is drawn between project and operations. And before getting into project management, you must understand the difference so that you can tell very clearly whether you are doing projects or whether you are doing operations. Generally, uh, people who are into managed services, into IT, who are supporting applications, who are supporting, uh, patch management, or who are basically ensuring that the application is up and running all the time. They're into operations. Okay, and the people who are working to produce a new application or a new update for that particular application or a new feature for that particular application, that is a unique endeavor, and that is a project. That is what they are working upon. Is that clear, guys?
Yeah. So supporting the continuous operation is a operation or and creating a
supporting the
unit.
supporting the supporting the continuous functioning of an application,
Yes.
that is operations. And adding a new feature to that application is a project.
So if anything beyond the threshold limit of operation, let's say, you just give an example that you're assigned to reduction of 20% lead time. So
Mhm.
that is not capable under the operation. So that you have named it as a project. Is that correct? So which is beyond the threshold limit of operation.
So look. So now the project that we just discussed, that's an improvement endeavor. Okay, it's so do you think that it fits into my definition? That fits into, is it unique or not? 20% reduction of lead time for supplying missiles from point A to point B, is it a unique endeavor or not? Is it
Yeah.
unique?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so that uh, so your first checkbox is ticked. That is, it is unique. Okay, so that is one. What is your second part? Is it temporary? I will complete it. I have a timeline to complete it. Is it temporary or not?
No, it's a temporary because it's given timeline. Yeah.
Correct. So the third part, do I do I have a plan to start thinking about the project, and do I have a plan to end the project, or to end my endeavor, which is both unique and temporary in a particular amount of time, so that I need to produce results, so that I am able to reduce my lead time by 20%?
Yes, that's a unique result.
First, it's a unique result. Second, it's a
Yeah.
temporary endeavor.
Temporary. And
It
say
has got
start
it
date.
has got a start date and an end date.
Yes.
Okay. So once all these check boxes are ticked, I think you will be able to differentiate whether it is a project or a whether or it is a project or it's an operational thing. Correct? Once you are able to achieve this 20% reduction, now when you get into the delivery from point A to point B, okay, earlier it was 2 hours. Now, after this project is completed, now you are able to deliver it in 1 hour, or you can say 1.5 hour. Now you're delivering in 1.5 hours on a daily basis. So now you are doing your daily op. Any questions? Is that clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Wonderful. Cool. So we will proceed. Yeah. So during your project management journey, all the terminology, everything is encompassed into this. What you can say, everything is encompassed into this chart. Okay, and this chart is a kind of chart you should be able to draw this chart even when you are asleep. Okay, this chart is so sacrosanct. This chart is the heart of the project management. Okay, and this will enable you to make a mind map, the mind map that I was talking about, being a project manager, your mind should be having hundreds of nerves, hundreds of endpoints, and these are actually 49 in numbers. So you should be able to recall this chart at any point of the day while you're working. Okay, so all these are the processes, what you see over here. Okay, these are the 49 processes. Okay, these are the phases: initiation, planning, execution, monitoring and control, and closure. Sounds logical. So your project is divided into multiple phases. First phase will be your initiation phase, when you initiate the project. Then you jump on to the planning phase, okay, where you plan the project. You plan it from end to end. Okay. As per the waterfall methodology, 40 to 50% of the time goes into planning phase. So the planning should be so thorough that you spend, out of, let's suppose a project is of 1 year. So out of that 1 year, 3 to 5 months must be spent on the planning part. The planning should be so exhaustive. I cannot stress more upon it, but the planning should be so exhaustive. Okay. Then comes on to your execution part, wherein you have deployed all the people who want to work on it. You have already managed all the resources, physical resources and people resources. Okay. Now it's time for the project manager to sit back and see the project getting executed. Okay. And it's not just sitting back. I will tell you what it comprises of. And after that comes a phase wherein the project goes into monitoring and control part. Okay, you have executed the project. Now so your software has been developed. Okay, now it is the time when testing happens. So that is called your monitoring and control phase. And uh, after your monitoring and control is done, then you jump onto your closure phase. Is that clear, guys? Any doubts over here? I hope this sounds logical.
Yes.
Correct? Okay. So now let me come down to the knowledge areas. We have 10 knowledge areas over here. And so, like I said, you should be able to draw this chart even while you are asleep. Why I am stressing upon this point is maybe initially I'm telling you to learn it, to memorize it or something. But with time, I will take you through this complete chart, and you will understand the logical sequence of this chart and the flow of the activities. And then if you combine your memory along with the logical sequence, that will make a good combination, and you won't have to memorize this chart again once you understand the logical sequence. But initially, definitely, I will request you to memorize it. Tomorrow when we meet again, you guys should be able to tell me, okay, what's the next activity that we are going to do. Okay, I've seen people ignoring this chart and getting confused. What's going to be the next thing? Okay, in my interview now, somebody is asking me, okay, tell me about what is the risk that you have managed and what is the strategy that you have implemented. Okay, so that is the question that people are asked. Correct? How you what kind of risk did you encountered, and
Yeah.
what was the strategy that you planned?
Yes.
Now if you're thinking about now you start thinking about your project. Okay, that okay, I encountered this risk. and then I mitigated the risk. I escalated it. I told to my manager, okay, this is the risk, and we need to assign some amount of money for this. And so that is your general answer. But being into the shoes of a leader, a person who has to lead a project, a person who has to who has to be a go-to person, he will tell you, if in an interview, if you say that you identified the risks first. Okay, if you say that you identified the risks first, then you did a quantitative analysis, then you did a qualitative analysis. Okay, or upside down. Okay, you did a qualitative analysis of a particular risk, then wherein you filtered out of the 20 risks that you mentioned, that you identified in your risk register. Out of those 20, you filtered out 5 risks, and you assigned I assigned a number to those risks, that okay, for risk number 1 I have to keep aside $1,000. For risk number 2 I have to keep aside $550. That was my planning of the risk response strategy. I informed my management that so much contingency reserve has to be kept aside in order to mitigate the risks which are expected. Okay, so that is the structure that you want to tell them. You have heard about STAR methodology? If a question is asked to you, the framework that you should be following to answer your question should be situation, task, action, and your result. So this is called your STAR methodology. The interviewer expects to listen. Okay, what was the situation in which you were stuck? What was the situation because of which the project was actually started? Okay, so that is the situation part. Now comes your task part. Okay, the project was started, but what was the task that you were assigned? What was the task that you were responsible for? Okay, and then your action. What was the action on ground that you have taken? You have started your daily scrum calls, you have started your sprint retrospective, your sprint planning, your release planning, and everything. That is the action that you have taken. Okay, you have an action you have taken, but if you don't tell him the result that are produced by your actions, the answer is still incomplete. Correct? Do you guys agree with me?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So that is the level of understanding that you need to have while studying project management. And while you answer a question, you should already have a framework in mind. Okay, okay, I have been asked about risk management. I will let him know. If you know this chart, you know that there has to be identification of risk. There has to be analysis on the risk, and then there has to be a risk response. So this is the framework that is being followed while answering your question. That's why I'm stressing too much upon this chart. Correct?
Yes.
Yes. Just wanted to understand, like, where do we mention that risk mitigation plan? It will come under planning phase only, or it will come under execution?
So, okay. Please don't mind. I do not answer questions just like that. I do not want to
Okay.
spoon feed anybody.
Yeah.
But whenever you ask me questions, I will cross question you. Okay. I will give you a situation. You are into a project. Okay. I have given you a project of constructing a bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you tell me. now you have initiated the project. Okay, you have done the initial, paperwork and approval and all. Now you are into the planning phase of the project. Okay, you want to plan where, okay, what should be in the scope, what should you build, what should be the schedule, what should be the tentative or expected cost, what is the quality that you are going to deliver, where are your resources, from where are you going to get your resources. That is okay. Okay, all that you have done. Now you are coming to your risk management part. Okay,
Right.
in construction of a bridge, you tell me what are the risks that could be that you can identify
So
in
it,
construction of a bridge.
yeah, so it would be environment related risk would be there.
Correct.
Human resource related risk would be there. When
Mm-hmm.
if we are gathering material from the vendor side, so it would be related to vendor management
Mm-hmm.
and like that only. matlab, I would say.
Okay, okay. There could be risk from the government, there could be policy changes.
Right.
Correct. There
Correct.
could be environmental changes you have already identified. Okay, so these are the categories of the risk that you have identified, and you can. So once you have identified the risks, okay, what will you do? What is the logical sequence? You identified your risks, you will go to your management that these are the risks.
Yes.
You will, the management or you being the project manager or the project lead, you would like to have a plan in case that risks happen or in case that risks occur right there, then and there.
Right.
So if you start executing the project, if you jump to the execution phase of the project where the bridge has already is already getting started, uh, the labor has come, your material has come, and everything has come on ground, your JCBs and everything has come on ground, and we are starting the work, let's suppose on 15th of February. So everything is on ground, and the work is getting started. What do you think that you need to have a plan uh, of uh, of handling with the rains? Let's suppose there is a heavy rainfall during that month. Do you want to have a plan? Do you want to make a plan on 15th of Feb, or you want to have a plan before that?
Ideally, we should have it before starting the project.
Correct. Correct. So you should negotiate with the JCB supplier that I am starting my project on 15th of February. If if there is no rainfall for the next 5 days, okay, I will take your JCB. I will make you a payment for next 2 months. But if there is rainfall during that period, I will start your payment. I mean, your payment will be effective from 20th of February or 25th of February. So that's a contract you are into with the JCB supplier.
Okay.
So that is a planning part, and that is a prerequisite to your execution part.
Okay. Got it.
Got it? So you have answered your question yourself only, but you need to think a little. Okay, what I'm asking is, I mean, how does that flow? It should be a predecessor or it should be a successor. Where this activity falls.
It would be a predecessor.
Correct. So it should be into the planning part. When you are making a mitigation strategy, it is into the planning part. All right.
Yeah. Got it. Thank you.
So minded guys, I mean, you guys have good amount of experience. You have worked in multiple organizations. Uh, you have landed into various interviews. You have been asked these questions. All these questions you have been asked. But if you answer these questions phase by phase, Okay, phase by phase if you answer these questions, or activity by activity if you answer these questions. In the cost management activity, I will plan my cost management, I will do a cost estimation, and then I will determine my budget. That's how you come to the budget. Budgeting. You write in your resume that I was responsible for budgeting of the project. And when people ask you, what did you do in your budgeting? Okay, I did this, I did this. There's no structure. So this chart is going to provide you a structure with which can enable you to sound like somebody who has not just worked who's not just worked his heart out during the project, but also knows the structure. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'll start with this. Okay. I'm not going into. I've just explained you the definition of what is project management. I am yet to come up with slides of PMO, the type of organization. That is mundane things, but I will definitely tell you all these things. But first, I want to understand how the project flows. Then I will tell you, okay, what is a PMO? Okay, what is the role of a PMO? What kind of it is projectized organization? What kind of matrix it is? What are functional managers? Everything you will come to know. But first, let's come to the heart of the PMP, and with that, I would start. So, the first knowledge area is project integration management. Okay, integration management is, so you're making your scope, you're making your schedule, you're making your cost estimates, you're defining your quality, you're doing your resource planning, resource management, communication, risk, procurement, stakeholder. When everything is done, you combine everything and come over here. You integrate everything, and that is called your integration management. You plan everything over here, and then integrating everything brings down to your project management plan. Okay. Now, when you come to execution, you are managing quality, you are acquiring your resources, you are developing a team, you are managing your team, you are managing your communication, you are implementing a risk, you are implementing your risk response that you have, planned already. Now, you're doing all these activities in parallel, and when you collectively call it, when you integrate everything, that goes down to your integration management. So what you're doing is, while integrating everything, what you're doing is you're directing and managing project work. You're managing project knowledge. That's what you're doing. Okay. Integration management is nothing but integrating the work, integrating the effort that you are doing in your all the knowledge areas and all the phases. Okay. So before starting with the project charter, I want you guys to have a look at this chart, absorb this chart, absorb the uh, absorb whatever is written over here. Okay, and then we can start. Then we can start this integration management. Yeah, we are 1 hour into the call, and my standard is to take 10 minutes of break after every 10 or 15 minutes of break after every 1 hour, so that you have the capacity to absorb. Okay, so we will meet back at 10:45, and while we take a break, I also want you to just to go through this chart, understand the terminology, so that while we study it, you are already aware about it, so that does not come as a shocker to you. Cool. We'll meet at 10:45.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
So any specific project or any random project?
If you want, I can give you an example. I can give you a project of um, the project could be painting a four-wall room. That is a project. It's a unique endeavor. It has got a start time and an end time, and it will deliver unique results. So that's your project. I want you to uh, just think in your mind what could be the items in your project charter could be.
All right.
Mhm.
So it's a room, right? It's a normal room.
It's a normal room, correct?
And this project I am handing it over to a co-sponsor so that they can approve it.
Correct. I want you to make a project charter,
Mhm.
which I mean, it should include all the items which can make the project clear to the co-sponsor.
Okay.
Mhm.
Just a moment. I'm just thinking about it. Okay.
No problem.
Okay, so the first thing should be the purpose, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
What should be the design or what requirements are there for the room?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. What
And
are the
then,
requirements of the project?
so this should be the room. It's if it's a meeting room or any other room. So I should
Mm-hmm.
specify what exactly is that room. And
Correct.
then the objective, what will be the objective, what how the room should be,
Mm-hmm.
and it should be for, I mean, if you're doing it for household purpose, then how the room should be. If you're doing it in an office for an office, then
Mm-hmm.
what should be the why the room is made out? Is it for a meeting purpose or a training purpose?
Correct.
Okay, then I would say making the use of the space designs and the layout maybe. What exactly I require in that room, coffee machine, for example, or maybe a table or a
Your
table
project is just to paint the room. That's it.
just to paint the room.
Just paint the room.
Yeah, so then it will be the colors. What colors I require? Do I require bright colors? Do I require dark
Correct.
colors?
That will be your acceptance criteria. That will be quality.
Yeah,
Good.
and
Next.
um, then it would be where exactly do I want these colors? Like if I want certain colors at a certain wall, brighter colors at a certain wall, and then the lighter colors at a different wall. Then
That everything about colors comes into your acceptance criteria.
okay,
What you do after which the project gets accepted by the customer. That is your acceptance criteria. Pink color in the front, black color in the back,
Mhm.
green on the left, blue on the right, or everything white. That is your acceptance criteria. Simple.
All right, and then
Mhm.
maybe the furniture. What furniture I require
No,
in the
no, no.
room.
That is not in scope. That is not in scope.
Okay. Actually,
I've
that is
given you a hint. I have given you a hint. I've given you a hint about scope. You should mention that what is the scope. Being a project manager, you should specifically define just painting the four walls is my scope. I will not be responsible for uh, taking out the furniture or bringing or setting up the furniture after I paint the wall. I will not be responsible for plaster of Paris. Okay. I will not be responsible for removing the installed television from the wall and reinstalling it or installing it back. You just have to be very specific about your scope. Is that legitimate what I'm talking about? Are you understanding it?
Yes, I am.
Is it an important aspect of the project or not?
Yes, it is.
Correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so scope.
So then I will speak about the budget.
That's absolutely a good point.
Yeah. So the budget
Mm-hmm.
wherein I will define the budget, including the cost for the paints, the tools, the labor work, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm
Correct.
hiring someone professional, and then there will be a
Hiring
timeline.
someone professional, so that is your
That is not.
resources.
Yeah.
That is resources.
Okay.
Okay, you got to mention your resources. Okay, next.
So then it will be the timelines too. What should be the start?
Timelines. Correct. Good point.
Then
SSB, I said SSB, scope, schedule, budget. Simple way to memorize or understand it.
yeah. So the timeline will decide the start and the end date and the painting, how much time for the painting, the drying and cleanups, and then the extra work which needs to be done.
Correct. Okay, so next point, Roshni, can you please pitch in?
It's Rohini, I guess.
Rohini, sorry, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, sure. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but your
Yeah.
voice is very low.
Yeah, now it's audible.
It's much better.
Okay. So for scope, I think I can also involve like if we are painting 4 walls, so be specific like whether it is like we are painting inside or outside a wall.
Mm-hmm.
That will be there.
Good
Then
point.
if the windows or doors are included or not.
Mm-hmm.
So specifying that in scope and out scope, that will be helpful.
Correct.
Other thing I will say for quality. So for paint, you can choose the quality of the paint, like
Mm-hmm.
what quality of the paint you will require, and according to that, your budget will be defined. For
Absolutely. I mean, you can give the two options. One is velvet paint, one is tuna. If you do the velvet paint, your budget is 2 lakhs. If you choose simple paint, then your budget is 80,000. That you can specify. Good point.
yeah. Also, then just Anup has mentioned about timeline. So you need to have a high level
Um,
plan. Sorry.
Rohini, I wanted to mention points other than what Anup mentioned. Think extra.
Okay.
All the
Um,
points which will make the project clear to the co-sponsor.
Yeah, so the first thing will be the specifying a good scope and out of scope thing. So
Mm-hmm.
that will give the co-sponsor a very good idea about the project, how it is.
Correct.
Then specifying your budget, what budget is required, and if there is any risk associated with the project that you need
Correct.
to specify. So that will give the co-sponsor a high level idea about risk if it is coming in between the project. So I
Mhm.
think that is the thing. What
The
else is
point,
remaining?
the point that you just missed, and is the project manager.
Sorry.
Project
I was
manager name.
about to say that the first point is the documentation format with the Tekadar, who will be the project manager.
Mm-hmm.
So this,
Absolutely.
yes,
So
Tekadar.
this is the document which
Yes.
will authorize the project manager.
Yeah.
He will be the so this is the document which authorizes the project manager to make decisions, to acquire resources. Okay, he wants to the project manager wants to purchase the paint. Which documents authorizes him to make the buy decision, to put a demand onto your system of 50 liters of paint? This is the document. He will show this document to your maybe your functional managers who can assign him supervisors. He can show this document to accounts department, which will enable his ID to put the requirement of 50 liters of paint. Okay, so he would need this document to show it to all the stakeholders on which the project is dependent. Correct? So this is a very, very crucial document which will actually authorize you to make multiple decisions or to actuate the project. Okay. Now comes so the project. So okay, understand. You know the project. Okay. You guys know the project. The project manager knows the project.
Sorry, Hitesh, so you're saying that sponsor or co-sponsor, whosoever is responsible to create this charter, right? And he will
No.
assign the project manager. No?
No, project
Uh,
manager will be responsible for this.
Okay.
okay.
Correct me
Why?
if I'm wrong.
No. Just I. So Rohini, I don't answer the questions directly. I will ask you only. You will answer the questions. So why do you think this project charter will be created by either project manager or a project sponsor?
So project sponsor will assign a project manager. He will authorize the project manager, and that project manager will create a document which is called project charter.
Okay.
Yeah,
What else?
that is my understanding. Also, the project manager will have the overall idea about the project, so he will be the best person to formalize this all requirements.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else?
Yeah, Hitesh, Harshit here. So,
Yeah,
as
please
per
tell
my
me.
experience, I can say that it's the combination of project manager, sponsor, stakeholders as well. And we get input from all these parties and we prepare the charter.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So the risk. So understand, guys. There is one person who's accountable and there's one person who's responsible. Who do you think a project sponsor is? A project sponsor is definitely a very senior member of the company, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Who's authorizing funds, who's getting calls for the project, who's
Yes.
actually distributing the projects among various project managers or PMOs.
Yes.
Is
And
that
who bring
correct?
the opportunity? Who
Who
bring this
brings the
concept?
opportunity?
Yeah.
He's
Who
the
bring
he's the
this?
project sponsor. Okay, and so please understand, guys. The project charter will be signed by the sponsor. He is the person who's accountable, will be sponsor. But do you think he has that much time to make each and every project charter?
No, I guess.
No.
So technically, project manager is the person who helps the project sponsor to draft out the project charter. Okay, so project manager will assist the project sponsor in drafting the project charter. Though ultimately, the project manager will okay, he is already selected. Okay, he is already got a call from the sponsor that you are going to manage this project. Project charter is a formal document that will authorize the project manager's name. So the project manager will assist the sponsor in writing the project charter and he will get it signed from the project sponsor. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So the point that I was discussing was now you have given your name in the project sponsor. You have given your name in the project charter. Okay, that Rohini is going to lead this project. Now, what do you think the co-sponsor needs to know? वो सोचेगा ना यार कि project है क्या? Like Rohini mentioned, walls, inside walls need to be painted or outside walls need to be painted. He needs to know na what is the requirement and what are the solution that we are proposing. Okay, so this is the first question that needs to be answered by you being the project managers. Sponsor
What
will
is the
tell you,
scope of the
okay,
project?
correct. sponsor will tell you, okay, make a project charter and get it signed by me. Okay, but the co-sponsor has thousands of questions in his mind, and you need to make a holistic document that clarifies most of those questions. Clear? What is the requirement? What is the business need? Why is a company asking to paint the room? Why OYO company wants to build an application? Okay, and what is the solution that you being, let's suppose you being Deloitte or you being Cognizant are proposing to OYO? Correct?
Yes.
Then comes, he will think, okay, um, okay, the room has to be painted. So what should be the scope? Okay, inside walls, outside walls. Okay, there should be a lot of fittings installed on the walls. There should be a clock installed. There should be TV installed. There should be there should already be a paint that is already there on those walls. Who will remove that paint? Should that be in scope or not? Correct. So you being the project manager, you should mention if the walls are already painted, then removal of that paint that needs labor, and for removal of that paint, I would require 2 days. I would require 5 laborers, and that will cost $10,000. Correct. So what is there in your scope and what is not there in your scope has to be very well defined. You will complete the work in how much time? Okay, the sponsor needs to know, okay, these 20 people or 20 guys are doing this project managed, and Rohini will be project manager, but for how long they will be engaged? Because I have got another project coming up. Okay, they are taking they are taking 2 months. Okay, that's fine, then it is okay. And what is the budget? Cool. Then I would think, okay, me being the co-sponsor, I would think, okay, what is the objective they are accomplishing, and what is the quality that they're going to deliver? Okay, I'm a brand. What is the quality of work that Rohini is going to deliver? She has taken up the project, but I don't think she has uh, skilled or efficient painters to support her. Okay, and if Rohini mentions that, okay, she's taking the paint from Asian Paints, and she's hiring painters from a well-known brand in the market, then I will be like happy. Okay, Rohini is doing good work, and she will maintain my company's name. Okay, and Rohini has already mentioned the risks. She has mentioned a few assumptions which the sponsor needs to address, the issues and the dependencies, okay, which need to be discussed with the management. So there are so that there is a proper mitigation strategy. Okay. So now, do you think after listing out all those things, the co-sponsor will be happy and he will be able to understand, okay, what the project is and how it is going to be executed? Right?
Yes, he
Anything
will.
else that you guys want to add that should be there in your project charter? Okay, let's look at an example of the project charter. Let's look at this. Okay. So what you're going to add over here is your project name. Let's say
Are you sharing something? I'm not able to see any screen.
is my screen visible or not?
No, not visible.
Not visible.
Yeah. Visible now?
Yes.
Okay. So this is a sample project charter wherein by which you can understand how a project charter should look like. Sample, template, not a fixed one. You can have multiple templates. Okay, you have your project name. It could be painting 4 walls of Taj room number 404. Okay, then could be your sponsor XYZ, project manager Rohini, email address, phone number, organization, process impacted, start date 15th Feb. Okay, completion date 15th March. What are you going to say? What are the costs? Okay, that is your budget. Okay, have you assigned any green belt or something, black belt, supervisors? That means your people resources. Okay, now you come to the issue, like I told, raids. Okay, after this, purpose of the project. What is the objective? What is the purpose? क्यों कर रहे हैं हम लोग ये? Okay, 404 paint dilapidated condition. Okay, what is the business case? What is the business case, guys?
To attract more customer.
Sorry, no, wrong answer. What is the business case?
Why we are initiating the project? Any specific
Absolutely correct
cause or
answer.
not?
Absolutely. Who answered this? Sorry, I can't see your name.
Harshit.
Arshit. Okay. Absolutely correct. Correct answer. Business case defines what is the organization need. Okay, it solves the answer why this project. Okay. What is the customer request? Okay. What is the necessity of this project? What is the organization need? So this is what is defined in your business case.
Mhm.
Okay. So if you see over here, the inputs to your project charter is your business documents. And what are your business documents? One is your business case. Just note it down. It's an important thing from your exam perspective also. The second thing is your benefit management plan. Okay. So these are your business documents. Business documents, one is your business case. Business case tells you why this project, what is the need. Okay. Benefit management plan will be how the benefits of this project are going to be utilized. What are the benefits that this project is going to make? Okay, how the organization will be benefited out of this project by doing this project. If you being cognizant, or if you being Deloitte, if you are developing the OYO application, okay, or you being Wipro, if you are developing the OYO application, how it will be benefited? What are the benefits that that Wipro is going to reap after making OYO application, and how to organize those benefits in your company? Okay, that could be brand value, that could be monetary value, okay, that could be your team skills, okay, that could be share in Oyo's profit if you are doing consulting kind of job. Okay. So what are the benefits that your company is going to reap out? So this is what the business documents means. Okay. So business, so understand guys, you have a business case first, and out of that business case, you make a project charter. Correct? Are you able to understand the flow, the logical flow of things?
Yes.
First, the business case will come. Why we are doing this case? Why we are doing this project? Okay. And if that reason is valid enough, then then the sponsor will ask me or Rohini to make a project chart. Okay. I'm spending a little more time on the basics of the project so that later, later while you study all these terms, these are not confusing to you. It's a dry subject consisting of a lot of terms, not as difficult as the biology that you studied in your 8th, 9th, 10th, or whatever class. But again, it is a subject wherein a lot of terminology is there, but that terminology comes with logic. Okay. One more thing, guys. One practical thing that I have realized, and what PMI also says, is it will be easier for a 12th class student to clear PMP exam rather than uh, rather than professionals who are already doing project management. It's a well documented statement. Do you agree with this or do you disagree with this? I'll
I
tell you
totally-
how you can.
I totally agree with this. They can
Why
learn.
Mhm.
See, class 12 exam is the main motive is read and clear the exam. But
Mhm.
as a professional, we have all different mindset. We have all expertise. I mean, we have our different experience. So we can relate and we can cross question on that.
Mhm.
So I mean, sometimes we can disagree with that PMI that no, this should not be this. This should not be. So this, and for class 12 student who doesn't have any experience on the practical knowledge can relate that okay, this should be this should be this.
Okay. May I know who just said, is that Harshit or
Piyush, it's a Piyush.
Piyush? Okay. So Piyush, today we are at the first class, but when we reach our 8th class, when we attempt PMP questions together, just let me know, do you agree with the statement or not? Okay. Just wait for 7 more classes, and
Sure.
you can, if you change your opinion, just let me or Amrinder know, uh, who is again the co-mentor for this course. uh, you can let us know. I mean, if you change your mind regarding this statement. Why I'm telling is because people who are already into organizations, who are already employed, who are already working somewhere, who have worked in a PM setup or any organization kind of setup, who have worked on projects. Practically, projects follow a different structure, or they don't follow a structure at all. Okay. So Rohini or Harshit, you can vouch on that. While you're working in your organizations, do you think or do you agree with me that all these processes are followed? Do we make a risk management plan? Do we make a quality management plan? Do we make a plan on how we will manage the quality and how we will control the quality?
It is very rare to follow all these things in a practical environment.
Correct. That's my point. When you are already working into an organization, you will take a reference and you will be biased to the procedures that are followed in your organization or your previous organization. For you guys to get down to the right answer is 50% more difficult than a student who's just 12th class pass, because his mind is fresh. He does not know what actually happens in Cognizant or Wipro or some organization. He just has to absorb this. He just has to understand the procedure, understand the framework, apply his logical thinking, and implement it into the answer. Whereas you guys have a bias, you guys have experience, you guys have your own thoughts. When you put your thoughts along onto the logic layer, that will actually spoil the logic layer. Sometimes it will spoil, sometimes it will underpin the logic layer. Okay, so please understand this, guys. You have to put in extra efforts to learn, to realize what is legitimate, what is logical. What you do in your organizations, keep it separate. But what I tell you during the course of your PMP preparation, during the course of your PMP journey, that is more important. You may want to question me time and again, and I'm here to help you out. But please do question me, and please let me know what you follow in your organization. I will tell you whether that is right and as per the structure, as per the PMI guidelines or not.
Yeah, I mean, for my from my experience, I mean, this is the first project as this I'm handling as a project manager. But
Mm-hmm.
I can see there are the things, following, like red logs are there, like the quality management plans are there. But I think
Mm-hmm.
this is like mostly probably because I work for the life science industry, it is majorly for the pharmaceuticals. They need
Mm-hmm.
all the documentation and all, but the risk and associated with the project will be there to, even the stakeholders will know, even the sponsor will know. But I think
Correct.
just for documentation purpose, if something goes wrong, they always have something handy to, that we have anticipated this risk during the start of the project.
I think this is more of a tail saving strategy. Okay, if something goes wrong, okay, did we make out the risk plan? The project
Yeah,
manager should have an answer. I think this is more of a tail saving thing rather than implementation. Correct?
yeah.
Yeah. But while you plan your risk, you uh, do a proper identification? Did you do a proper categorization? Did you make a risk breakdown structure? Did you do a quantitative and a qualitative analysis? Did you assign a particular amount of money for each risk that you have identified? Did you make a contingency plan? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you are the project manager with buckload of knowledge from this course, if you have understood all these terminologies pretty well, at least you can make plans. At least you can document a few more things. You can implement better frameworks, and you can enable the project to be on the higher side of the success ratio. Okay, understandable, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing. Okay, let's go back to our template. Okay, now what are the goals and the metrics? Okay, what is the goal that you, I mean, again, purpose of the project and goals are metrics by which you can measure the success of the project. What are the expected deliverables that you are going to paint all four walls? Okay, now again we come to the scope and the schedule. Within the scope, four walls. Outside the scope, installation and deinstallation of TV and other electronics, lamps, old paint. So that is out of scope. Do you now think that not just mentioning the scope items, but the out of scope item is very, very important for you to be able to estimate the correct budget and correct schedule?
Yes.
A good scope is underpinned by a proper schedule and a proper costing. Okay, all these things are interrelated. Your scope, schedule, and your costing. Okay, so what is in the scope, what is out of the scope, and what is the schedule? Okay, you have given few milestones: forming a project team, finalizing project plan, or when you are going to do kickoff, when are you going to define what is the measurement, when are you going to analyze, when are you going to improve, okay, when are you going to control the when you go into the control phase, and when you are going to make a summary report. Okay, so that's how you make the milestones. Then you define the resources. Okay, so understand, guys, everything is over here. Okay, these are the resources, these are the quality, cost, everything that you see in this chart is very, very, very important, and a high level of all these items are mentioned in your project charter, so that your project sponsor is well aware about what your team is going to do. Okay, so what is your team? You have Rohini, you have Ashit, you have Piyush, and so on and so forth. Who are the support resources? Who are your special needs? Okay, who are your special needs? So I mean, if so, these are called your pre-assigned resources. Okay, so if you have a subject matter expertise, let's say Ram. Okay, he has already done infrastructure related projects, multiple infra projects he has already completed. So his name you can mention. So he's a pre-assigned resource. Okay, I will tell you about pre-assigning of resources in your resource management plan. Then you have your costing, labor cost. Then you have your paint cost. Then you make a estimate of, like, let's say I'm going to spend about 2 lakh rupees. Okay. Then you have your benefits and your customers. Okay, what are the benefits that you're going to reap? And this comes from where are you getting your benefits? We just discussed 10 minutes back.
Business
Benefit
document.
plan.
Business.
Absolutely
Business.
correct. This is your business. This is your business document, and this consists of your benefit management plan. Okay. Who's the process owner? Who's the stakeholder? Final customer? Expected benefits. Okay. Type of benefits: cost savings, revenues, productivity, compliance, decision making, less maintenance, cost avoided. These could be the benefits. And so whatever you studied in, whatever you made in your business documents, both the things. Okay, what was the first thing in your business documents?
Business case.
Business case. And the second was
Benefit
Management plan.
benefit management plan. Both the things are included in your project charter. Okay, and that's how the key management people, the key sponsor, the co-sponsor of the project will understand, okay, this was what was required, that this is the reason, business case was the reason why this project is starting, and this is the benefit that I'm going to get out of this project. So should I be going ahead, should I be approving this project, or should I let the project be handled after 2 months or after 5 months. Okay, he's the person who will be able to prioritize the project. Okay, if this project is employing, um, let's suppose these resources. Okay, I know that Rohini is getting into this project, Ram is getting into the project. Rohini's salary is 50 lakhs, Ram's salary is 80 lakhs. Okay, I'm employing such high paid employees for 2 months. Okay, and what I'm getting is, let's suppose 2 CR of revenue, whereas I have another project which is yielding 5 crore, wherein I can employ Rohini and Ram together, and my savings would be more. So what I will do is I will hold this Taj painting project aside, and I will carry out the Hilton painting project first. Correct. So these are the key. So that's how your sponsor will be able to make an informed decision. So that's how important is your project chart. Understandable?
Yeah.
Then comes your risk, constraints, your assumptions, your all the rates that we just talked about.
So if there's
Mhm.
one thing, so business document, the term which business document is provided by sponsor, right?
No, I mean, what's your question? Business document is what?
Provided by charter. Sorry, business document provided by sponsor.
Who can answer this question?
And okay.
So business case, I think from the project scope and the what we are getting from the project, like benefits that will describe the business documents. No one will give you the business document. It should be prepared.
No, so that's the question. Who will prepare the business case?
It seems he's right, Hridesh. So business case is given by the sponsor itself.
Absolutely correct. Business case needs to be given by the sponsor. Okay, because the sponsor is getting calls. The sponsor is the
Yes.
person. Yeah, so there could be multiple sponsors. Okay, there could be functional sponsors. There could be sponsors on different levels. One could be, so you have a complete organization. Okay, there could be specific sponsors for specific kinds of projects or specific functional areas. Okay, so the sponsor is getting the project, the sponsor is getting the information on what the project is. He will chart out a business case on what your business analyst has already understood, and what's the solution that is being proposed. Okay, so business case, what is the necessity of the project, will be defined by your project sponsor. Okay, and then the project manager will help or assist the project sponsor to chart out this document, and this document is internal to your team. Correct. So anybody who's joining the team, anybody who's maybe associating freshly with the team, he is able to understand, okay, what is the business case, why we are doing this project, what are the solutions. Okay, in this template we do not have the solution listed out. Correct. So there could be solution 1, there could be solution 2. Okay, why we are choosing solution, what are the advantages of choosing solution 1 over solution 2, what is the ROI for solution 1, what is the ROI on solution 2. These are also the points which are generally mentioned in your project chart. Okay, so your
Can
business
I
case.
put one scenario here? I mean, if you can elaborate that.
Sure,
Uh,
sure.
yeah, I'm working with a client, logistic client, DHL, and they recently launched their India's first robotic center.
Mhm.
When the robots are introduced, near the Manisar Gurgaon, and the robots are introduced to pick up the package and put that into the boxes into the drawer and the logistic way. So that's a one. So that was the flagship program which launched in India, and we as a telecom provider, we were asked to provide a subsequent bandwidth or internet or the services they need. Cloud. So business case for them. So for DHL business cases, to increase the efficiency by
Correct.
introducing the robotics, and that creates multiple projects. One project for our telecom company that you will provide this for me. For other robotics company, for Chinese robotics company, to provide the robots, and other company to provide the different materials. So one business case can create a multiple projects or multiple programs. Is that true?
So business case is very specific to each and every project. Business case is particular to a single project. Okay.
Okay.
So let me explain it to you. So your project is to provide internet services over there.
Right.
Okay. So the project that you are responsible for is that will enable the IoT part of the robots. Okay. So if you understand correctly, is that you are to provide internet services, okay, to enable IoT for existing pickup robots. Okay, so that is your project. Okay, and the business case will be the business case will be that so and so the XYZ robotics company does not have internet to support IoT functionality in their premises. That is the business case. What we are achieving through is be very specific, be very confined. Okay, you are not bothered about the other functionalities, like you said,
Right.
providing robotic parts for the robots, or providing vehicles, or providing wheels, or something. You are just focused upon providing internet services to actuate the IoT functionality for the robots.
Exactly.
Okay, so that is your business case. Okay, and what is the solution that you are providing? That you are installing you are maybe giving connection, you are installing a tower over there, you are laying the cables. That is the solution that you're providing, and the ultimate objective will be to provide internet service, to provide internet IoT service, IoT functionality. That's it. That's your scope. So when you're writing your scope, you have to be very, very, very specific. Okay, you have to mention over here that what is there in your scope, and what is outside the scope of your project. Okay, you have to lay cables, you have to erect a tower, set up a tower. Okay, what else?
We have to provide routers, the hardware installation, routers and switches. Yeah, and
correct.
then we have to test the environment, the real environment, test the
Correct.
environment,
Testing.
and then we hand over to the operations.
Correct. You can say acceptance testing.
Yes, acceptance criteria. Yeah.
Okay, so this is what is there in your scope. And what do you think for your project should be out of scope?
Anything other than this? Providing the tools, vehicle, whatever you are saying, that is not my scope.
Digging of ground,
Yeah, digging of ground is not my scope, of course.
correct?
That's the local facility. Yeah.
That is, yeah.
Cabling work is not my responsibility for the
Yeah.
internal cabling.
Internal
Okay.
cabling, correct.
Providing
Na?
electricity to that router is not my responsibility.
Electrical connections.
Yes, is not my responsibility.
Okay. So now do you really understand? I mean, how specific we need to be in a while writing the scope, while writing the project charter. Yeah, you were mentioning about getting vehicles or something. You were mentioning about getting parts for the robots. No, that is okay. And what your functionality is, that you're just providing internet connection that will enable the IoT functionality. Okay, you have to do the testing and do the handover part. That's it. Your project is over. You are not responsible for multiple things. Okay, if I project the if I give them the internet connectivity, the robots will be able to pick up the boxes. The robots will be able to put the boxes in the right places. The robots will be able to do lean management. There will be less rework. No, that is not your part. You just have to provide internet functionality.
Yes.
What the robots are doing, that is their responsibility.
That is their business case.
That is their
Yeah.
correct. Your business case is limited to providing internet functionality so that robots are receiving the commands. Clear? What commands they are receiving, you are not responsible for that. It's just that you should be able to ping a particular server, and the receiving server should be able to get that command.
Yes.
Is that clear, guys? So
Yes,
it's a great example. If you people can ask multiple doubts through which we can clear out, what clear out the concepts, that will be really great. I really appreciate when people are asking questions, and no questions are stupid. Every question is as good as a PMP exam question. And I will try to clarify in the best way possible so that the concept are clear, the logic layer is your logical layer is cemented, and the biases that you guys have, you just saw that Piyush had a bias. Okay, he had a, because he was somehow working in an environment wherein they were taking too much ownership, wherein they were taking too much responsibility for the project, whereas they were just supposed to enable the internet connectivity. That's it. That's what a telecom company does. Is everyone clear about it? So the inputs to your project charter, you have seen what a project charter looks like. The inputs will be your business documents, your agreements with the people, with various vendors. Okay, you have your enterprise environmental factors and your organization process assets. I will take up these two terms a bit later because this needs going into a bit of depth. I will explain it to you after the break, but just I want you to know what are the inputs, what are the tools and techniques, and what are the outputs. These are called ITTOs. Okay, inputs, tools and techniques, outputs. So every process that we study, every process, this is a process, this is a process. Every process that we study, we will study the tools and ITTOs for each process. Okay. The tools and techniques for making a project charter would be your expert judgment of a project manager, a project sponsor. Your data gathering happens, interpersonal and team skills, which is your negotiation, your collaboration, and then your meetings. And what are the outputs? The output is your project charter and your assumption log. So this is very important. Okay, you make the assumption log along with your project charter. Okay, so when your project sponsor, or when any stakeholder is reading that project charter, he will definitely have some action items. He will definitely have his doubts. He will definitely have something to work upon. And what are those? The assumptions that the project manager or the sponsor has listed out. And those assumptions need to be cleared before the project actually starts. What could be the assumptions? Okay. So Rohini, you were the project manager for this project for painting the 4 walls of Taj room number 404. You were the project manager for this. So I want you to list out what are the assumptions that you have taken before starting this project. Rohini, are you there?
Am I audible?
Yeah, now you're audible.
So my assumptions are
Other people can also help.
so I'll be specific regarding the assumptions. So that will be the only 4 walls. We are not um
Okay.
painting a ceiling, something ceiling.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So that it is one. And
Assumption is basically coming out. So this assumption is basically coming out from your scope, correct?
yeah.
Next.
So next will be, as I earlier mentioned in scope. So if it is an internal one that we have discussed with, I mean, the sponsor. So exterior wall will be out of scope. I mean, we are not doing the external one, external walls.
Internal wall only. Okay.
Internal, yeah.
Next.
And any extra like ongoing, if there are some any additional requirements that will be purely I mean out of scope, you can say that. And, mm,
Guys, please help Rohini.
Can we add timeline to these assumptions?
yeah, I was just
Because
about to say, yeah.
in case
Please
of
be
any resources issue, in case of any festivals and all, in case of climate, if it
correct.
is raining, it will take some time to get dry.
So the assumption is that your
Timeline may change according to weather conditions, yeah.
labor will be available
Mm.
for whatever the duration of the project. Okay.
Mm.
Or you can be specific. You can write that 8 labor will be available. Okay.
Yeah.
That is your assumption. If the labor that you are employing comes down from 8 to 6, then definitely there will be a change of timeline. Correct?
Yeah.
And Hitesh, one thing we are missing here, that is the lesson learned. Is that also can take,
Lesson learned, part of which
I mean, for in the charter business documents, can we do this? I was just going through the previous doc. Can we include
no
that in no?
lesson learned from from which project?
So similar project. See, if we are working in a hotel, there must be several rooms, and we are talking about
Correct.
here in the one room. We could take this.
Absolutely correct. So this is a good point. So that's what I said. I will come down to your OPAs and your EEFs. This is called your EEFs, and this is called your OPAs. So your OPAs is your information repository. whatever project that you do, okay, the complete information, the complete lesson learned, what resources you used, what team you used, everything you put into C, manage project knowledge. Okay, you put into manage project knowledge, and the project knowledge and that you put into your OPAs. So if you're doing a project, if you're painting 4 walls of Taj Hotel, you will go to your OPAs, you will check your OPAs of if a similar project has been done. Now you see, okay, our company has already painted multiple floors and multiple rooms of Hilton Hotel in year 2020, and these were the lessons learned. These are the vendors from which we hired the labor. Okay, these were the agreements with the labor. These were the risks that were confronted during that project. So you will get a complete information about your Hilton project in your OPAs. It's always great. It's always a great practice to learn from mistakes of others, from mistakes that have been done in previous projects. So the lesson learned part that you just mentioned is a superb point. Okay, you can take this information, you can take the assumptions from, you can, I mean, not just the assumptions, you can take the risks, you can take the this information, any information, you can refer the previous projects, and the previous information about previous project will be available in your OPAs. Also called, I mean, there is also something called PMIS, Project Management Information Systems. It is a shared repository wherein all the information of your projects is kept. Sometimes such information is held up in your SharePoint. Okay. Good point. Good use of good practice to gather all this information. What else, Rohini?
Also, we can mention about the dependency. Let's say if there is a prior work or like POP, if that is being handed over on the correct timeline.
So that is your assumption that before starting to paint, POP is already completed.
Mhm.
Correct, because you cannot start painting your walls before the POP is completed, right?
Yeah.
Correct. Fifth assumption is all electronics, carpets, furniture is cleared out before starting.
Mm.
Is that understandable? So that's how you make an assumption log. Okay, and that's the output of your create project charter process. Okay, develop project charter. What will it give you? Project charter. And what else?
Assumption log.
Assumption log. Is that crystal clear? Is that logical?
Yeah.
Correct. So now you can, from your PMP exam perspective, you can ask me a question. Okay, that Hitesh, do we get such kind of questions? I mean, what is the output of this process, or what is the output of so and so process? So the answer to this question would be, you would not get a direct question. Okay, this is So your PMP exam is not memory based, it's logic based. Okay. The logic should flow from one point to another. Okay. You could be asked a question that, okay, you have a situation in hand, okay, wherein you are facing with too many issues, you are facing with too many issues while executing your project. Okay, so there must be, the previous project manager made too many assumptions. You are the new project manager who has joined in middle of the project. Where will you seek out the assumptions jotted down the previous project manager? You will go to assumption log. Correct? You should be able to at least remember where you are going to write these assumptions. Okay, while writing your project charter, you will list out all the assumptions, and assumption log is a byproduct of your develop project charter process. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Before okay, let's attempt this question, and then we will go for a break, short break. Who can read it out? Okay.
I'm reading it.
Yeah.
So you are the project manager of a software project. A colleague challenges your authority to make the decision to purchase a software development package. Which of the following document would you use to show him the authorization you have? First one is project register, risk register, project work plan, project statement of work, and project charter. So
What is the answer?
Charter,
definitely it
because
will be
you are
charter.
the documented person, formal documentation, your name is there at the beginning.
Correct. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct answer. The project charter is the right answer. But okay, what is your project risk register? What is your project risk project work plan, statement of work? So guys, please understand. When you are attempting your PMP exam, there will be a few questions there will in which some of the options are made up terms. Okay, that's why I said this is a dry subject involving a lot of terminology. You need to club that terminology, you need to club that logic with your memory. Okay, that's why I told that I recommend you to take this exam just 1 month after completion of this training, so that you are fresh, your memory is fresh with all these terms. 1 year after you attempt these exams, you might not retain all the terminology. Okay, but for your exam you need to remember these terms. Over here, project work plan is a made up term. This is a
Yes.
this is a stupid made up term, just to confuse you guys. Project charter is the right answer. Okay, I will discuss project statement of work right away after we take a 15-minute break. Okay, project charter was really an important topic. That's why I spent good amount of time over here, so that you guys are able to understand what a project charter is. And tomorrow when you come back to the session, I want, if you can, like Piyush asked a very good question about the project charter, I want if you can also come up with questions so that we can discuss it more. If we discuss it more, we will be able to retain what a project charter is, and we will be able to resolve each and every question that PMI hits us with. Is that clear, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll go on a 15 minutes break and we'll meet back at 12:30, and then we will continue for another hour before we wrap up today's class. Cool.
Okay.
Enjoy your break. I'll pause the recording.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've resumed recording. Okay. Just a second. Is the whiteboard visible?
Yes,
Yes,
it
it
is.
is.
Okay. So have you heard about Pareto rule?
Yes.
Okay. Can somebody tell me what do you know about Pareto rule? Pareto rule or 80-20 rule?
Regarding the quality measurement, it is not sure.
In terms of life, in terms of anything, it is applicable everywhere. 80-20 rule?
I've heard these
So
terms, but not aware about it.
okay. Let me tell you. Let me give you a familiar example. So you might heard uh, in your office that 80% of the work is done by just 20% of the people. And generally, the people who say it consider themselves to be amongst the 20% workforce. But that's a bias, so that's fine. So 80% of the work is generally it's a standard rule. Okay, 80% of the productive work is generated by only 20% of the highly effective people. Okay, and my class also, our sessions will also work upon the Pareto principle, Pareto rule. 80% of the results 80% of the results will be generated by 20% of your efforts. Okay, so let's suppose amongst what is the result that you want? Tell me. PMP? What else? Leadership qualities? What else? Communication? I would not say communication. I would say effective communication. Scrum and agile understanding. Okay. Frameworks. successful projects. What else do you think are your results? What are the goals of this PMP training?
Customer satisfaction.
Knowledge also. Yes.
Knowledge. Customer satisfaction, or I would say a better term would be not the customer, but stakeholder satisfaction. All the stakeholders are the people who are negatively or positively impacted by your project. Okay, your stakeholders could be your vendors, could be your customers, could be other functional managers who have to shell out their manpower or shell out their people resources or physical resources for your project. Okay, stakeholder satisfaction. What else? What else are you seeking? What else are your objectives?
Task delegation to the team members.
Sorry.
Task delegation to the team members.
Effective work management.
Yes.
Okay. What else?
Effective risk management. It covers.
Yeah, effective risk management. So let's suppose these are the deliverables or these are the results that you are looking at. But the 80% of these results, okay, 80% of these results will be outcome of just 20% of your efforts. 80% efforts I will do, but whatever 80% efforts I will do may not be very productive in generating these results. But the 20% efforts that you are doing, they will be able to generate these results. And what are the efforts that are expected out of you? I expect 100% focus. Okay. I expect there's something wrong with this. I expect 100% participation or interaction. Okay. First is focus, second is participation, and third would be your dedication. If you give me these three inputs, I will be able to deliver 80% of these results. So that's the Pareto rule that I generally follow and which is 99.9999% of the times very effective. Is that clear, guys? So I've given you another framework today, Pareto rule. You guys have heard it, but you guys do not know it. Okay. And these are not, so your efforts are not just, I'm not just saying just for the resume, I'm a focused person, I'm a hardworking person. No, that's not your appraisal I'm doing. I need your focus. I need your 100% focus during the class. That's why I make the class. I keep asking you questions. Okay. Rohini, please don't mind if I made you the PM. I will make everybody PM for each and every project. I'm not pointing anybody out, but it is just that I want you guys to participate. I want you guys to focus. If I keep speaking, you guys will sleep off.
Yeah, understood. And no worries. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I want your participation and the class to be interactive. I want you guys to discuss amongst yourself. I will do certain kind of activities which will enable participation also and dedication. If we are discussing something today, I expect you to go back, give 1 hour of revision. Okay. If you have some doubts, go to YouTube, go to open source, go to your PMBOK. Okay. Uh, read about read about that. And when we meet next day, I want you guys to ask me questions. That Hitesh, you told me this, and this is not clear to me. The book is saying so and so. So there's a confusion. I do not get what the context is. I will really love it if you guys ask me questions. Okay, so that is your dedication and your participation. If you just manage these three inputs, if you manage just the 20% of the complete efforts, 80% are mine. Okay, 20% are yours. If you just manage 20% of your efforts, 80% of the results will be generated. And first one is PMP. That is, I would say, that is just a byproduct. You will clear the exam in blink of an eye. Awesome. So you were clear with this question?
Yes.
Okay. So now let's move on. Okay, we saw what is, we already know what a project charter is. We will come to know what a risk register is. Work plan is a stupid made up term. Now we will see what a statement of work is, because we have already discussed project charter and this is a related terminology. So I would want to address it right here, right now. Okay. So this is project statement of work. Okay. So again, we discussed that while we make the project charter, there is an input to the project charter. And what is that input?
Agreements, business case.
Business documents. Okay. So while making the project charter, we had business case, business documents. And there is another input which is called project statement of work. Okay, now what a statement of work is. You understand that project charter is not a legal document, it's internal to your team. Okay, it's for the internal reference of your team. Okay, but project statement of work is a document which is a legal document. It's a contractual document between you and your client. Okay, and it will not specify, obviously it will not specify the authority of a project manager, since you do not need to convey it formally to your client. Okay, let's suppose Oyo. Who's the founder of Oyo? Bhavish Agarwal? I guess so.
Ritesh Agarwal.
Ritesh Agarwal, sorry.
Bhavesh is for the Ola.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So let's suppose Ritesh Agarwal is telling you, you are from Wipro. He's telling you to create an application uh, for Oyo. Okay. Do you really, you being the sponsor, do you really want to tell him, okay, Rohini or Harshit will be the project manager? That is internal to your team. Whosoever you put on to that project, you do not need to specify to Ritesh Agarwal. Okay, so this does not specify the authority of the project manager. Second thing, it's a contractual document between you and your client. Okay, so the contract will specify what is to be done. Okay, what is to be done, how it will be accepted. Okay, I will see. Okay, just the legality. What will be your payment terms? What will be schedule? What will be your costing? High level terms. Okay, so that you enter into a contract with the OYO. Okay, how termination policy? Quality of work. Okay, so these are the high level terms which you will use as a contractual document between you and your client, which will specify what is supposed to be done, how it is supposed to be done, what are the payment terms. You will pay me every month, you will pay me in an agile way, or you will pay me after the complete project is delivered. What is the schedule, what is the costing? High level, but it's a legal document. In case you and Ritesh Agarwal get into a dispute, this document will be referred to. Okay, so this is what is a statement of work. So there is a difference between what a project charter is and what a statement of work is. Is that clear? There are common terms, there are common items in between a project charter and a statement of work, but you guys have to be very clear that it is a legal document, it's a contract, and it's a internal document. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So now we come to what a business case is and what are agreements. So business case, what it defines, business case, understand guys, business case, high level, okay? What is the project's worth for investment? Will my business case allow me to generate such an ROI? Okay, I can deposit. Let's suppose this project is this project wants me to invest 1 crore of $1 crore, or you can say 1 crore INR as my investment into this project, including your physical resources, your human resources, your everything included. Yeah, 1 crore rupees. Will I be generating that kind of money or that kind of ROI? I mean, I do not want to, you know, which allows me to give a better opportunity than investing in FD or something, or doing a proper investment, buying a land or something, or some kind of growth strategy. Yeah, will I generate 25 to 30% returns in this project, which makes me overcome my opportunity cost? Okay, so is the project worth investing? Will I generate sufficient ROI or not? So that's what your business case is. I will come to an example of a business case, a sample. Okay, what is the market demand of the product? What is the customer request? Okay, why business case defines why are we doing this project. So again, market demand, customer request, then what is the organization need. Okay, there could be projects like let's consider an example of Citibank, or let's consider an example of banking industry. Okay, they are transforming, they are doing digital business transformation. they are transforming from Excel sheets to multiple softwares like Tele or ticketing softwares, maybe your ServiceNow or your Jira. Okay, so what is the organizational need? Digital business transformation. They want to transform their business from Excel sheets and tracking on papers and tracking everything on papers to tracking everything on softwares. So that is called your DBT projects. It could be a legal requirement, like it could be a requirement from cybersecurity to protect a certain kind of data. Okay, so that could be one of the reason why the business case is made and why a project needs to be undertaken, right? And then we have your benefit management plan, okay, along with the business case. So that comprise your business documents. And what are the agreements? Agreements onto your SLAs and your letter of intent. Okay. If you see over here, agreements are your inputs to making your project charter. Okay. So what are these agreements? If you have an SLA agreement with you are Wipro, okay, you do not have expert developers to make OYO application. You are hiring developers from Cognizant or freelancers you are hiring. Okay, so what are your SLAs with them? Okay, if you are maintaining an application, okay, what is your SLA? What is the uptime that you have promised to your client? You have promised 98% uptime, so that is your SLA. Excuse me. Sorry. Then comes your letter of intent. Okay. Letter of intent comes from your procurement management part. Okay, so it is one of the bid documents. Okay, so letter of intent. Again, I mean, if a client is giving an LOI to a particular vendor that he's interested in buying your services or buying your product or buying your or making a deal with you to provide developers or some skilled manpower. So that is what an agreement is. So you are getting into agreement. A buyer is getting into an agreement with the seller. Okay. So that is again an input to your project charter. So both these documents help in generating project charter. Along with that, an external document which is also called statement of work. Is that clear? Are you able to understand how it works? What is the chart? How you can come down to your project charter? Correct? Now we will see a business case, how a business case looks like. Project name. Oh, telecom project, yeah? Sponsor's name, project manager's name, uh, date of approval, last revision. Okay. So how this project, sales team, IVR telephone system, uh, how this project is contributing to the strategy. So please understand, guys. Our strategy is to project best in the industry customer service, and current situation does not reflect this. The new IVR system will ensure all the calls are answered in a timely manner. It will also ensure that the calls are dealt efficiently. These two facts align this project to the company strategy. Okay, so that is what a business strategy is. Now, so business case is a document which is written by the project sponsor. Okay, the project sponsor has to write whether this project will align to the organization strategy or not, to the business strategy or not. Okay, what is the strategy that your business is following? Okay, uh, let's suppose I will give you an example. Okay, let me give you an example of Crocs. Okay, so Crocs, what they so you guys might wear Crocs, and Crocs are made of a very, very, very special material, which is soft to the feet, which is gives you very, very little sweat until or unless you have some issue or something, and it is basically a special material. Okay, so Crocs had a strategy to have a brand which is different. Okay, which is completely high segment brand, and they did not want to uh, target people in the lower middle class, or people in the class below that. So they wanted to target high ended class people. So they wanted to make a product which is very, very comfortable, and once who wears Crocs cannot get away from he cannot move away from Crocs, similar to what an iPhone user interface offers. Okay, uh, you may have different opinion about iPhone and Crocs, and uh, uh, that doesn't matter because we are discussing the business strategy now. Okay, so what Crocs did was they had a dependency on the supplier of materials, which is another company. I don't remember its name, but it's a Korea-based company. Okay, so their decision to acquire that company, and that is what is called vertical integration. So integrating vertically with the supplier so that they are never out of that material, and that material is patented by Crocs only, and that material, the technology of that material does not go to Red Tape or Bata or any other hush puppies or whatever brands are there. They vertically integrated with that supplier. Okay, so please understand the business strategy. They want to make a product that is unique and that remains unique for next 2 decades. Okay, so considering that kind of project, an informed decision by the project sponsor or by the project sponsor is taken. So the decision that the project sponsor takes is driven by your business strategy. Okay, now what he is writing over here is the new IVR system will ensure calls are answered in a timely manner. Okay, strategies to project best in the industry in customer service. So uh, that is the reason why this project is being undertaken. So what are the options considered? Adding additional staff, having a dedicated team, having an IVR system. And this is what he's saying is it is the selected one. Okay. What are the benefits? Increase sales, happier customers, improve LTV, lifetime value for customers. What are the time scales? Approximately 3 to 4 months. Cost 35,000. Project management 30,000. Software team 90,000. Total cost 155. Expected ROI, first year 0, 120, 180. Okay, so that's how rate of investment of internal or the internal rate of return is mentioned, ROI or IRR, internal rate of return. We will discuss these terms later on. Okay, and what are the risks? Right now, project looks pretty straightforward, but there are still some unknowns surrounding the implementation. There is also a risk of project that the project team does not meet the sales team or the customer needs. For this reason, it is recommended to involve the sales team closely. Look, mitigation strategy is also given over here. Clear? So this is how a proper business case looks like. And now your sponsor has made this business case. Now you will take this business case and now you will go ahead and make the project chart.
Can I ask a question here?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
So, Harish, tell me, so whenever a business case or concept generate, okay, a business case generate and charter, so receiver and acceptance and receiver both, I mean, receiver and giver both need to create the project charter. Let's say I'm the company who generate the requirement. Oh, this is I think is a business need. So let's create from the concept to charter, and let's put it to a supplier. Okay, let's say I have a supplier, Verizon is my supplier from the telecom industry. So as a I'm a FedEx. I have a requirement of internet, so I have a requirement, and I put that to the Verizon. So as a charter, project charter, Verizon has to create the project charter also, because see the requirement coming from FedEx. So who will create? Both party will create a project charter, or it's only the FedEx only?
So the project charter will be created by the company who's doing the actual work, who's providing service, who's doing the improvement. Like I told, I want to reduce 20% lead time while I'm supplying the missiles. Okay, I'm supplying the missiles to the launcher team. So launcher team is my customer. Okay, so who will create the project charter? It's the person who's doing the project. It's the team who's actually working on the project. I was working on that lead time project. I was responsible for reducing 20% lead time. So I have a team. I will mention my. I have a business case. What is my return on investment? That I will be strategically placing my missiles 20 minutes earlier for being fire worthy. Okay, I will be able to shoot down the aircraft well within the time before they enter the international boundary. Okay, so that's the business case. So looking at that business case, I will develop a project charter. The end customer would be the beneficiary.
Yes, of course.
Correct?
Right.
Yeah.
So the customer himself will create a business case only. I share a business case, a concept with his vendor, with his supplier, right? And then supplier will develop the project charter.
Customer will give the requirement.
Okay, requirement. Okay.
Customer will just give the requirement, okay, to the vendor. Okay, Ritesh Agarwal, he is the CEO of Oyo Rooms. He will give the requirement to Wipro. Wipro's project sponsor will create the business case. Okay, the PMO will find out a good project manager. The project manager will design a project charter looking at the business case, and he will get it approved, and it will authorize the project. Okay, Oyo has just given the requirement.
Requirement, right.
Yes, and there will be
requirement gathering.
There will be a contractual document. There will be a contractual document that will be held right between Oyo and your company, and that is called project statement of work. That defines what is to be done, how it is to be done, payment terms, termination contract, all that. Sorry, I cut you off. What was your question?
That was my question. Yeah.
So is that resolved?
Yeah, of course. That's all.
Okay, wonderful.
Hirdesh, I also have a query.
Yeah,
So
please go
who
ahead.
approves the business case? Is that also get approved by someone?
Sorry. No, business
Who?
case. No. So business case does not have to be approved. Business case defines. Okay, so there are there are look, ROI is defined. Okay, your company will take projects only if the ROI is more than 25%. Okay, if the internal rate of return is more than 18%, the project will be approved. Okay, so while you are, so let's suppose, let's go over here. Options considered. Okay. Additional stuff. If you go with the first solution, ROI will be let's suppose 10%. Okay, ROI will be 15%. ROI will be 28%. Okay.
Mhm.
So your sponsor has developed this business case just to understand what are the benefits that are going to get generated out of this project. What is the ROI this project is going to generate? This business case does not get to. It needs to be shown to the higher management. It goes to all the departments that this is the third option that we are going ahead with. This is generating a 28% ROI, which is greater than 25% defined. That is the baseline for your company.
Okay. So
Okay.
depending upon these numbers, we proceed with the business, right?
Yes. These numbers are approved by the management, and these numbers you can find where. These numbers you can find in your OPAs. Okay. Does that answer your
Yeah.
question?
Yeah, got it.
Okay.
Thanks.
So what are the SLAs? Objective and scope of services, responsibilities. What are the responsibilities of a service provider and what are the responsibilities of a customer? Service provider, you being Wipro, your responsibility is to deliver 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pages of OYO application. What are the responsibilities of customer? Whenever delivery is done, within next 3 days, approval or rejection has to be there from OYO support team. Okay, so 3 days is your SLA. Correct? What are the performance metrics? Performance metrics is that after let's suppose after every 2 weeks, 2 weeks of sprint. If you guys are not clear with the sprint, I will explain it later. Excuse me. After every 2 weeks, I need to see working software. Okay, or a piece of working software or a minimum viable product or something. Or let's suppose after every 2 weeks, I want to see a page getting developed. Okay, so these are your performance metrics through which you track the performance. Okay, what are the penalties of your contract B? So everything is mentioned in your SLA document. Okay, is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, now we come to direct and manage project work. Okay, so we have completed this part, project charter. I will come down to project management plan later on. Project management plan is nothing but integration of all these plans. Once I tell you all these plans, I will let you understand what a project management plan is. Okay, so see guys, these two things, project management plan and all these requirements, they do not work in silos. Everything happens parallelly. Okay, your scope is getting constructed, your schedule management plan is getting constructed, you are also working on the cost. Okay, so as soon as, so let's suppose on the seventh day you are ready with your schedule, with your schedule planning, you include that in your project management plan. Let's suppose on the 20th day you are ready with your budgeting, then you include that cost management plan into your project management plan. So that means your project management plan is getting developed empirically, progressively. So this is what is called progressive planning. Okay, on the 22nd day your quality management plan is ready, then you include it into your uh, project management plan. So this is how your project management plan is constructed. I will come to it later, but holistically, this is what is the meaning of your project management plan. Okay, project management plan has 18 items. I do not want to talk on those 18 items right now because that will unnecessarily waste our time and confuse you with extra terminology. I would rather start with direct and manage project work, and then I will come down to project management plan in the later class. Okay. So what does direct and manage project work means? So if you already see, that is the part of your execution phase. Okay. So anybody wants to take an attempt, what do you think could happen in your direct and manage project work? This is a part of your execution phase. Try it, guys.
Can you repeat the question again? I mean, I understand the last ask, but what was the context behind?
What I'm asking is, what do you think we are doing in directing and managing project work?
Mm-hmm.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see.
Yeah, I want you to take a try
Okay.
to make me understand what do you think this action item means? What do you think this process means?
Okay. So whatever we have context consist in the project management plan, in the develop PM plan stage, it's time to execute that as per the plan, as per the scope of work we break down. So it's time we execute the the plan stage into the next stage, which is execution.
Correct. So if you see that we are into integration management right now. Okay, we are into integration management. Did I start recording? Yeah. Okay. We are into integration management. Integration management means the sum or integration of all the processes below it. Okay. We are managing quality also. We are acquiring resources also. We are managing team. We are managing communication. We are implementing our risk response. So all these processes combined together is called directing and managing project work. This is called integrating the processes below. Okay. So directing and managing project work means performing the work defined in the project management plan. Okay. Whatever is defined in the project management plan, that executing that work would be your directing and managing project work. It involves managing people, keeping them engaged, improving the processes, requesting changes, implementing the approved change. Okay. Getting things done, getting the changes implemented, and getting the desired results. So that is what is called directing and managing project work. Simple. So during the course of these lectures, I will also stress upon a few processes, few knowledge areas, few terms onto which questions are expected, and questions will be definitely there, and also uh, areas which are not very important. Okay, so direct and managed project work is something which is not very much into the question criteria. Question coming out of direct and managed project work is not very likely. Okay, so you understand the Moscow framework. This is must, should, could, must know, should know, could know, or won't know. Okay, so your exam is always constructed into this framework. Okay, there are things that you must know, like your risk management. You should know risk management in and out. You should know cost management very thoroughly. So like that, your direct and managed project work falls in the category of could know. Okay. Okay, inputs to your direct and managed project work is your project management plan, project documents, approved change requests if there are any change requests. Okay, so let's suppose you are executing your project. Okay, uh, there is some part of development of your OYO application software that has gone wrong, or which has not been that has been developed, but it is not working in your user environment, or it is not working in your uh, it is giving bugs in your system integrated testing or unit testing. So definitely there will be a change request, correct? That the code
Yes.
that the code which is already written into the repository, that needs to be changed, correct? Okay, let's come to Rohini's project. uh, we are uh, we are basically painting the four walls, and while painting the first wall we realize, uh, while we are painting, that there are some holes, uh, or there are some holes in the wall which are not looking good. Now Rohini, being the project manager, she could be do you think she should be raising a change request that, other than painting the walls, we should also be patching the wall so that the wall looks smooth? Should she raise a change request or not?
Yes.
Yeah. So so that is, so your change raising your change request is a part of your execution phase. Okay, this is your execution phase. So whatever change request that you have received becomes an input. Whatever the change request that you have raised, and those are approved. Okay, while you are executing the project work on ground, while you have deployed your 20 people in the room to paint the wall, uh, you will have a look at the approved change request, and then you will let them know, okay, just patch this wall first and then start the work. So approved change request becomes your input. Okay, then your EFs and your OPAs are another inputs. EFs I will explain later, and your OPAs you have a fair idea now. Tools and techniques will be expert judgment, project management information system that I said, PMIS. You can look at the PMIS, how the procedures are done, how the manpower should be deployed. You should uh, brush the wall upside down or left to right. Okay, everything is mentioned in your PMIS. Then you have your meetings. You could have meetings with your people. how they're going to plan the 4 walls and all that. Okay. Then in the outputs, you have your deliverables, you have your work performance data, you have your issue log. Any issues while you are doing the project work, should any issue that comes up, you found that there is a hole in the wall, mention it, just come up and mention it into the issue log. So issue log will be your output. It is a very, very important term. Okay. Issue log is the output of your direct and managed project work. Now, this could be one question which is important from this. Okay. While you are into your execution phase, while you are executing all these processes, there could be certain issues. Hole in the wall. Okay. TV already installed. Okay. Bulb already installed in the wall, on the wall. The curtains are not removed. All these are issues which are hampering your project. So while you are executing your project, you need to create a issue log. Is that logical, guys?
Is it the same as a RAID log? I mean, the RAID one.
So understand, RAID, when did you create RAIDs? RAIDs is what? Risk assumption, issues and dependencies.
Yeah.
So when did you create this? During the planning phase?
Yeah.
Or during the initiation phase?
Yeah.
Yeah. You did this in the planning phase. So you assumed that these could be the RAIDs. You did this exercise before starting the project. Now you are already into the execution phase. Okay, you are actually come to that room number 404 of Taj Hotel to get your project started, to paint the 4 walls. Okay, before starting the project, you had mentioned some RAIDs. Okay, assumptions you have already clarified. For risk, you already have a mitigation plan. Dependencies, you have already removed those dependencies. Okay. Issues, there could be issues which were estimated, okay, or which could be, assumed that these issues could arise. So those were RAIDs. But now you have reached room number 404, and now while executing that project, you have faced some problems. That problem you need to note down in your issue log, so that when you get a contract of room number 405 also, you will go down to your issue log, you will see what are the lessons learned from your issue log. You will see what are the issues learned from room number 404 project, so that the same issues do not reiterate in your next project. Clear?
Yeah.
Just understand the phase, how the project is flowing. Okay, this was the RAIDs we did during the charter. That was initiation phase. So that was, you can say, that was your presumption. Okay, that was your expertise, out of which you lay down all the RAIDs. So this is a precautionary activity. Okay, so you are being proactive over here, and now this is reactive. Clear?
Yeah.
This is before you start an activity, and this is when you are already into that activity. Good question, good question. And while you are executing that activity, there will be some kind of, when the issue comes, you will again raise the change request. Okay, you have the project management plan updates. If you have any issues, if you want to change the project management plan, After certain kind of change request, then your project management plan will be updated. Then you have your project document updates. Then you have your OPA updates. Your issue log will go to your OPA, correct or not? So your OPA will also get updated. Okay, moving on. Then we have manage project knowledge, using the existing knowledge and creating new knowledge. You have your data, you have documents, you have your records. Then you have your tacit knowledge, that is your experience and your thinking. So that is what your how you manage the project knowledge. You have your lessons learned. This thing you learn while doing the project. Yeah. Again, mundane ITTOs, nothing very special to be very to go into deep. So the output, the main output over here would be your lesson learned register. Okay. After you do your after you are managing your project knowledge, the main outcome that will come is your lesson learned register. Right, Harshit? You mentioned the lesson learned register in the earlier session today.
No, it was Piyush, as I remember.
Okay, it was Piyush. Okay, good, good. Okay. Now, coming on to the monitoring and control. See, you have already done the project execution. Okay. You have painted the 4 walls. After the walls are painted, the paint will get dry, the color will change, there will be some changes, correct? Okay, moving on to OYO example. You have developed the software, you have uh, committed the code into the branches, unit testing is already done. Now you have to monitor that the code that you have created is getting tested in user environment. Okay, how will it behave in the user environment? Or is the code free of bugs? Is the code ready to be deployed into the production environment or not? So all that thing is going to be done in your monitoring and control. Okay, is that clear, guys?
Yes.
This is not project knowledge, this is monitoring and control. Project. Okay. So see, the process of tracking, reviewing, and recording the progress to meet the performance defined in the project management plan. Whatever is defined in your project management plan, you are going to track, review, and record the progress. If required, if there are so many bugs that you feel that it cannot go to the production environment, you will raise a change request. Okay, and then you will go back to your execution phase. Okay, if there are problems over here, then you will jump back to your direct and manage project work. Okay, it ensures that the plan is working, identifies any areas in which changes to the plan are required, and initiate the corresponding changes. Plain and simple, very clear. Okay, nothing much to be nothing very fancy in your monitoring and control. Takes all the work performance information and makes the work performance reports. So initially you have work performance data. Out of that data, you make information. And of that information, you make work performance report. This is clear? You have some data, okay. Laborer 1 worked on half a wall, laborer 2 worked on 3/4 wall. He used uh, he used 2 liters of paint. He used 1.3 liters of paint, and so on and so forth. This is just an example of the project that we are discussing. Okay, so this is data. Now you have some information. Okay, that total paint used 3 liters. Okay, manpower used 5 man hours. Okay, now you come to the report. Okay, 5 man hours produced 3 walls, like that. Okay, so that is a report that you're making over here. So this is what you, being the project manager, this is the kind of report that you have to make. I think you guys already make pie charts, histograms, bar charts to let the management know what you are tracking, what are the metrics, are you adhering to the SLAs or not? Correct? Do you guys make some those kind of reports? It is nothing different than it is just the work performance report. Okay. So inputs, again, we have project management plan, project documents, work performance information. Out of that information, you will make work performance report. Okay. You have your agreements, EFs, and your OPS. Tools and techniques, you have your expert judgment. You have data analysis. You have to do some data analysis. There are decisions that you have to make while you are monitoring and control. If there are bugs, you have to make a decision that okay, this has to go back to the development stage, and you may need a few meetings or brainstorming sessions to come to a particular decision. You make work performance reports. You may have to raise change requests, and then you have your PM plan updates and your project document. Okay. We are out of time for today. If you guys allow me to continue for 5 to 6 more minutes, I will complete this project integration management. So you have something to go back and study and revise, or maybe attempt a few questions. What I'll do is I'll try to jot down a few questions, or send a few questions to you guys, so that you can attempt those questions today and see how your learning is progressing. Right? Do we have 7 more minutes? 6 to 7 more minutes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Carry on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks everyone. So the next thing that we are doing in monitoring and controlling, we are basically sitting and monitoring the progress of the project. Okay, the painting of the walls has already been done. Now you are monitoring the walls, how the quality is turning up. Okay, do you have to make any change request or not? Okay, now you see the paint has dried up, and you see some patches of the brushes, you see some strokes of the brushes which are not as per the quality that is desired in the project statement of work, or that is not the quality which is mentioned in your project charter. So in that case, but your paint has finished. Okay, the 10 liters of paint that you procured for this project has finished, but your monitoring and control phase does not allow you to deliver the project as on date. So what you will do is, what Rohini will do is, she will perform an integrated change control. She will have to raise a change request that the quality is not as per mark, it is not a deliverable quantity. I want to procure 2 more liters of paint for the patching work. Okay. So review all the change requests, approving changes and managing changes to deliverables, project documents, and project management plan. Whatever changes need to be done, they will be raised, they will be approved, they will be analyzed by the change control board or change approval board. Okay? Change control board group responsible for reviewing, evaluating, approving, deferring, or rejecting the changes, for recording and communicating such decisions. Okay, change control board is the board which reviews the changes, which analyzes its impact. If Rohini says, initially I have used 20 liters of paint, but I need another 20 liters to make good of the project. Do you think the change control board should approve, or it should analyze the impact on the project? Okay, so this is the responsibility of reviewing and analyzing each and every change request that comes to the change control board. Sorry. It is a process where you assess the change and its impact on the project. Simple. Okay, so this is your monitoring and control. Again, the inputs will be your project management plan, your project documents, the risk report. Risk report will be an input over here. Why? Because in the risk report, you have come down to basically analyzing what risks have occurred, okay, and what is their impact. Okay, so there is a risk report which you will analyze to make your, which will be analyzed by your change control board. Okay, work performance reports. Work performance reports basically where you maintained a work performance, you made a work performance report in your monitoring and control project work. Then you have your change requests, EFs, and your OPAs. Tools and techniques, nothing very fancy, just common techniques, expert judgment, change control tools, maybe your ServiceNow or something. Then you have to analyze that data, decision making meetings. Output would be approved change request, approved or could be rejected. Okay. If Rohini is asking for another 20 liters of paint, additional to what 20 liters she has already used, I would definitely reject that request with a particular, with my own thesis. Okay. Then you have your document updates. Last is your closing and handing over the project. Now, everything is done, changes are approved, changes are implemented. Again, that is monitored and controlled. Now we have come down to closure of the project. Okay. Now, closing the project is a very, very, very important process. Please expect one question from this project closure. Okay. So please, all eyes on the presentation. Finalizing all the activities of the project phase or contract. So you're finalizing all the activities. Closing project accounts, reassigning your personnel who were working with you. Closing project accounts. Audit, you do all auditing and all. Okay. You are doing your lesson learned. You are identifying whatever lessons that you learned. You archive the project information into your PMO, and that is your OPAs, organization process assets. Okay, you give all the lessons learned and all the archives to your PMO, and he will deposit it into the OPAs. So that's how it works. Okay, now coming to the question, where does the question come from? What question you will receive? Okay. See, project charter is definitely an input. Why? Because you're closing the project. You will see what I had to deliver and what I'm delivering. Okay. Project management plan, that's fine. Project documents, that's fine. Accepted deliverables. What is this? Accepted deliverables. This is the point from where you will have a question. And that's why I want you guys to understand this chart very, very, very closely. See, I'm telling you a very important point right now. Okay? If you want to make a note, please make a note. During the quality management, when you're doing monitoring and control, you are doing control quality. How are you doing control quality? You are going to Ritesh Agarwal, or you are going to the 404 room number ka the product owner or whosoever. You're going to, okay, let's stick to Ritesh Agarwal. Okay, you're going to Ritesh Agarwal, you are verifying with him that, hey, we have developed this part of the application, are you satisfied? Okay, are you satisfied with the quality of the pages? He will say that, okay, I am satisfied, now your deliverable is verified. The output over here is verified deliverable. When your deliverable is verified, okay, and when you have worked upon all your deliverables, you go to scope. Now you check with Ritesh Agarwal, okay, you see the quality of all your deliverables, you have verified that the quality of all the deliverables, all the pages of the OU applications are up to the mark. Do you want to accept it? He will say, okay, I will I will definitely accept it. So the output over here is accepted deliverables. Understanding, guys? There is a connection between quality and scope while you are closing the project. And I'm telling you a logical sequence which will enable you to answer the questions. It is not a very simple concept to understand, but if you understand the flow, like the way I am telling you, you will definitely crack this question within no time. Okay, so you have got your OYO application page verified with Ritesh Agarwal. He has verified the quality of the pages, the quality of all the application pages. Now he has seen the scope. Okay, I wanted first page, intro page, then I wanted information page, then I wanted payment gateway, then I wanted KYC. So all the boxes are ticked. Okay, the scope is validated. So now he will accept the deliverables. So that those accepted deliverables which are accepted in your scope management, knowledge area, okay, in your validate scope process. Once those deliverables are accepted by Ritesh Agarwal, this becomes an input to closing the project. Rohini will see that, okay, the deliverables are accepted. This is also done. Okay, business documents are as per the business documents and as per the agreement. Accepted deliverables are already there. Now I can hand over the project, or I can close the project. She will use her expert judgment, data analysis, and do some meetings. And finally, what will happen? The project document will be updated. Final product or service or the result will be there. There will be a transition of people from one project to another, and there will be final reporting. Is this concept clear to everyone? Quality, scope, and then integration. After controlling quality, you will show your deliverables to Ritesh Agarwal. He will verify. Over there, the scope is validated, that okay, all the pages I have received, then your deliverables will be formally accepted. Okay, there will be a written acceptance letter from Ritesh Agarwal. Okay, and then that becomes an input over here before closing the project. I have also delivered my lecture today, and if you guys verify and accept it, I will be able to close the lecture today. So please give me your acceptance and your verification. Are we good to close the session today?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
And
Okay, awesome.
thank you. Thank you, Urdesh, for this lovely session. That
Yeah,
really makes a valuable session.
and tomorrow we will be diving deep into your scope. Scope is very, very important. Okay, I will let you know how scoping of a project is done. Okay, thanks for your time. I request you to focus on Pareto rule. Give me your 3 deliverables. Do a quick revision. I will send some questions also. You can attempt those questions to see whether you have understood what I've taught you today or not. Okay.
So for
Yeah.
tomorrow, we have to join on the same link, right? Which we have already having.
Same link, same link, same link.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for your time. And I really enjoyed